What's going on, Colts Nation? I appreciate you joining me for another video. And first, want to apologize for not having very many videos as of late. Very busy time. A lot of stuff going on in life. Obviously, the holidays, but just a lot of stuff going on. Work schedule is insane. I got an insane schedule again in the day job this week. But wanted to get some videos out to you guys. We're gonna have a couple today, and of course, I think needs to start with what a lot of people are talking about, and something that has to be talked about after starting 7-1. You know, there was so much said about Shane Steichen, and right, like last year, a lot was said about Shane Steichen, and I was in the boat of be patient, young head coach, he's still figuring it out. And then this year, the way we started, man, started 7-1, should have been 8-0, started 7-1, and looked like a completely different team than what we had seen in the past. Right? Like we had the characteristics of a great team. We did, even though we were playing bad opponents. We were annihilating bad opponents, and Jonathan Taylor was playing incredible. And it just seemed like everything was cooking, right? Daniel Jones was in MVP conversation, Jonathan Taylor in the MVP conversation. Defense wasn't perfect, but getting the job done with Lou. And then everything, pretty much from the Steelers game on, everything came crashing down, right? We trade for Sauce, and we're able to beat the Falcons. Jonathan Taylor goes nuts, and we're able to beat the Falcons. And man, and since then, close losses. We've played a lot of good teams, and we've had some close losses. But great teams win those close games, right? Think about the turnaround of season for us in one-score games hasn't been good, but in one-score games for the Texans, who didn't start the year well, they've been great in one-score games. I don't remember the record both ways, but not good for us and really good for the Texans, right? Good teams find ways to pull out those close games in tough matchups, right? And you think back to the Chiefs game, we had opportunities, right? Think back Seahawks. Just play defense at the end of the game, and we beat the Seahawks, right? And we still have some kind of chance. Right, there were opportunities last week against the Jaguars, right, and we lose 23-17. There have been chances to win games, right? Uncle Phil comes back, gave us a chance. Uncle Phil came back and has given us a chance in every game, right? It hasn't always been pretty, right, but we had a chance in every game, right? Except for obviously the 49ers defense forgot how to play football on Monday Night Football. That's why we don't get home prime time games, because exactly what happened. And when you look at everything, fair or unfair, these things a lot of times fall on the head coach, right? Because leadership matters. And I think a good way to look at this, a way that I've looked at this, because I know my bias. I've given a lot of grace to Chris Ballard because of Andrew Luck retiring and the way that Chris Ballard tried to make it work since then. I've given grace to Shane Steichen because he's a young head coach. And I think there's some really positive things about Shane Steichen, but I think the negatives are glaring. As we continue to go, the negatives are glaring. The players love him, and that's great. But at the end of the day, this league comes down to wins and losses. And the way we've collapsed, it's not just collapsing, it's the way we've collapsed. The way the offense has failed. Right? Even in games where defense played well. Right, for the 49ers game, you blame that on the defense. Chiefs game, defense played 90 plays but played really well throughout, right? Couldn't get off the field on third down, which matters. but let up 1 touchdown to the Chiefs. Defense against the Seahawks, no touchdowns, all field goals. Right, gave up yards but didn't give up a ton of points. You could blame that on the offense. Shane Steichen's in control of the offense. Shane Steichen's the leader, right? So the way I've looked at this whole situation, is something a lot of people have talked about recently about Mike Vrabel with the Patriots, Ben Johnson with the Bears, Liam Cohen with the Jaguars. The turnaround that those teams have had because of, sure, talent, but also leadership. Like what Mike Vrabel's done with the Patriots, the Jaguars have talent. The Bears acquired Ben Johnson, but also got a lot of players. Ben Johnson brought in offensive linemen. That defense is stacked with talent. Even with all the injuries, they have a lot of good players there. The offense is stacked with talent, but they have Ben Johnson. But for the Patriots, right, they have a lot of young pieces. They've been able to bring in some talent, but you think about the Patriots roster, like leadership has gotten the Patriots to where they are, and a quarterback, but leadership has gotten the Patriots to where they are. And obviously, our leadership isn't good enough. Between coaches and players, the leadership isn't good enough, right? And a lot of our leadership in terms of players are getting older, right? Like Big Q, I hope he retires a Colt, but he's getting closer and closer to the end of his contract. You know, at what point is he going to want to go somewhere else to try to win? DeForest Buckner, at what point is he going to want to go somewhere else to win? There's a whole different discussion about DeForest Buckner and the neck injury and herniated disc and whatnot. And we're going to talk about that at some point. But the leadership isn't good enough. And as much as I like Shane Steichen, there are things about him that drive me crazy. And, you know, the problem here is that I haven't looked into, you know, if you get rid of Shane Steichen, who replaces him. But I don't know if I'm so much worried about that side of things. I think Carly and the girls, I think whatever they do, I'm behind. Right? If they keep him, I'm with it. There's a reason. But if they keep the coaches, I would assume there's going to be heavy roster turnover. But if they get rid of the coaches and there's not heavy roster turnover, I'm going to trust it. Because I think she knows what she's doing. I think the girls know what they're doing. I don't think they're going to play games. Right? I think they want this team to be great. And I think they saw what this team could be. And then they watched this team fall back into what they've been. And it's hard to imagine with the way it happened this year that there isn't going to be massive change. Because you can't just keep letting this happen. There's got to be accountability at the highest level. And so I think, and again, I haven't looked into who you replace Shane Steichen with, but I'm at the point where I don't see another way. I don't see another way. Like, you can give Shane leeway for AR coming in, but that was partly on Shane. As much as that's on Chris Ballard, it's partly on Shane. And then AR gets hurt his rookie year, has to go with Gardner, and we fall short. And then second year, AR, development not going well. Joe Flacco comes in, we still can't win. You can blame a lot of that on Gus Bradley, and I do, because the defense was awful last year, but Shane Steichen kept Gus Bradley. knew what he was and kept him for 2 years. The leadership has to change. And just as I sit here talking about it and thinking about it, I do have an idea of how that could happen, but I'm going to have to look more into detail of possible changes. But with the way, dude, we were 7-1 with like a 93% chance to make the playoffs. And we've won one game since then. Like, we might really finish the year 8-9 after starting 7-1. And it's hard for my brain to even comprehend that idea as I say it. We were so good. We were so good just to fail. Miserably. Like, 93% chance of making the playoffs after week 8. And we are eliminated from playoff contention before we play our game in week 17. I'm at a loss for words, dude. Truly. It's been a tough year. Those that were in the stream Sunday, you heard me talk about it, like between my day job and between the content and putting in the work and trying to be as consistent as I can, working out and being in the gym. Like, the boy's exhausted. You could probably hear it in my voice. I feel like I don't have that same spark right now. But it's been a tough year to be a Colts fan. I'm probably too emotionally connected and invested into the team, right? I know a lot of people are fans, but right, some people can turn it off. Like this is my life, and I want it to be my life, right? This is what I've always wanted. But man, tough year. And I wanted to see us somehow make the playoffs with Uncle Phil, even if we got blasted in the first round. I wanted to see us make the playoffs. And with the way things have gone, like, dude, I can't wait for the season to be over. I already put in for some time off at the day job, to be able to rest up, get my mind right, starting to get my body right again, which is a tough place to be at. It's a hard place to be at. Don't want the season to be over, but I'm ready for it to be over. It's a weird place to be at, to be completely honest with you. And heck, if you're at this point still watching the video, man, just know I appreciate you guys hanging with me this year. It's been a really good year for the channel. A lot of you guys come through for all the videos, for all the streams. Your support doesn't go unnoticed, doesn't go unappreciated. So many of you guys that come to every video have been here since essentially the beginning, right? Through those first couple months of this, putting content on this channel. Like, can't tell you guys how much I appreciate you for all your support, for everything that you do for me and for the channel. And I hope you keep coming back, man. Like I said, it's tough. I know it's tough. Those of you that are still here, like, you're diehard. And I appreciate you. And we're gonna go into this all season searching for answers. It's time to search for answers. I've given grace to so many people, and I don't think the girls are gonna give grace. I don't think they're messing around, and we're not messing around this off season. There's going to be a lot of tough conversations. There's going to be a lot of never thought I'd have this conversation, and we're going to have them. Because as a Colts fan, I'm done with it, man. I'm tired of the same mediocre ending to every season, getting hopes up for no reason, just to be heartbroken by a mediocre team. Done. Done. Things have to change. And it starts, in my opinion, with Shane Steichen. And in my opinion, probably Chris Ballard. And that's the other video we're going to have. We're going to talk about that here in just a little while. So, of course, if you enjoy the content, make sure you guys hit the like button. Make sure you're subscribed with notifications on so you continue to get notified anytime we drop any content on this channel. Of course, I appreciate you so much for stopping by for another video. And as always, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and go Colts.